Do you think dogs only know how to say thank you by wagging their tail or giving a light lick on your hand? Wrong. Sometimes their thank you isn't spoken, it's just warmth, a look, and quiet habits. There's a 68-year-old veteran living alone in a small wooden house in Vermont. 6 years ago, he lost the wife he loved more than life. Since then, he didn't speak much, just sat by the window watching the snowfall. But every night, his dog Duke curled up at the foot of his bed, always in the same spot, same posture. No words, no big gestures. Just a small warmth at the feet, but enough for him to feel he was still needed. That wasn't just a habit. It was how Duke said, "Thank you. Thank you for being there, for loving him, and for not leaving him like the world had." Dogs may not speak, but they know how to remember how to be grateful and how to say thank you in their own way. Maybe it's an old toy placed carefully at your feet. Maybe it's a gentle lick after a meal, or just a peaceful look between two beings who understand each other without needing words. Those actions are so small that we often overlook them, but for them, it's a whole emotional world. And if you pay a little attention, you'll realize over all the years by your side, your dog has been saying thank you every day. You just never heard it. Today we'll walk together through 10 simple but warm moments that show how dogs say thank you to humans. After watching this video, maybe you'll look at your dog with totally different eyes, gentler and more understanding. Part 1. The Silent Gift. It's a quiet evening. You're sitting in a chair, your coffee turning cold, the TV on with some unimportant news. Suddenly your dog comes over carrying an old object, the stuffed duck that's been torn, or the rubber ball that used to be their favorite toy. They gently place it right at your feet, then stand still watching you with a calm gaze, no bark, no play request. To humans, this action might seem random, but for dogs, it's a ritual full of meaning. They don't share their treasure with just anyone. That toy is their most familiar object, kept for years. When they set it before you, it means you are special, the one they trust and want to say thank you. Behavior scientists call that affiliative behavior, bonding behavior. But in other words, it's gratitude packaged in a small gift. Dogs don't have words, but they have emotional memory. They record every gentle gesture you gave them, when you changed the water bowl, when you comforted them after they made a mistake, when you simply sat quietly beside them on a rainy afternoon. So next time you see your dog bringing an old toy, don't just toss it aside or turn back to the TV. Pause a moment, crouch down, touch that toy gently, and smile. Because that is the only gift in their world, the gift of a thank you, so simple, yet more sincere than any spoken word. And if you think their gratitude stops, pay attention to what happens after each meal. Because the next thank you often comes when you're not even looking right, when the bowl has just been licked clean. Part 2. The Thank You After a Meal. Have you ever noticed what happens right after your dog finishes eating? Not 5 minutes later. Not when they've already rested, but immediately after, licking the last drops from the bowl. They walk slowly toward you quietly, then lightly lick your hand, your wrist, or just touch your knee. No demand for more food, no request, just that gentle contact, and then they pause. Many of us will smile and brush it off, thinking they're just pleasing you or want to play. But in truth, it's a very ancient ritual, a thank you, stored in their instinct from when they were puppies. Researchers of dog behavior say this is the behavior of thanking the mother after nursing. They lick the mother's face, not to ask for more milk, but to show attachment and gratitude. When they grow up, they keep that habit, only now you become the mother in their small circle. That little lick isn't to demand anything, it's an unspoken thank you for your care, for the meals, for the patience, for the feeling of safety they find in you. And if you really pay close attention, that moment always occurs very quickly, just a few seconds, so light you can easily miss it. But for your dog, that is one of the deepest ways to say, "I am grateful to have someone always here." Next time you feel that little tongue touch your hand after a meal, don't wipe it away too quickly. Smile, crouch down, and say softly, "Good boy, girl." Because maybe that is the moment your hearts just touch, no words, only gratitude. And then as the day goes on, you'll notice something stranger still. For sometimes their thank you doesn't show in an action, but in the silent footsteps following you around the house. Part 3. The Silent Shadow. You move from the living room into the kitchen, from the kitchen into the garage, then out into the backyard. And in each place, there it is. No barking, no noise, No acting out, just quietly walking behind each step, matching yours like a breath-aware shadow. When you sit down, it lies beside your feet. When you stand, it casually stands up. No ask for food, no ask to play, just wants to be near. Many people think dogs do this out of habit, or because they expect a treat, or simply because they're bored. But the truth is gentler. Dogs are creatures of emotion, and they choose a person to follow. Behavior scientists call that proximity seeking, the need to be near someone they trust most. But to me, that is loyalty in physical form. In their world, you are the only center of safety. They don't follow to expect anything, but to say, I don't need anything else, just being where the one I love is. And if you really pay attention, you'll notice when you are anxious, they step closer. When you are happy, they lie a little further away, so not to disturb you. That isn't just instinct, but a harmony time has woven. So next time you see your dog trailing behind you, don't scold, don't shoo it away. Let it follow. Because in each little step is a silent thank you. Thank you for giving me a place to belong. And sometimes that love is bigger than you imagine. Because when night falls, when the whole world goes quiet, it continues guarding your sleep in its own way, silent but full of meaning. Part 4. The Guard Sleep. When night descends, you turn off the lights, adjust your blanket, and lie down. The house sinks into stillness, only your steady breathing remains. And in the corner of the room, a small curled-up shape. Your dog doesn't sleep in the bed's middle, doesn't curl on the plush cushion, but chooses to lie right by the door facing outward. Its ears may twitch, its eyes half open as though sleeping, but never quite fully. Many think that's just a habit, but actually it's the instinct of a loyal guard. In the dog's world, where it lies is a declaration of trust. They only sleep deeply when they believe the spot is safe. And when they choose to lie between you and the door, it means they are playing the role of guardian for you, the one they see as pack leader, as family. You protected them all day, fed them, groomed them, soothed them during thunder. And now it is their turn to repay in their own way, not with gifts, not with words, but with presence. They sleep, but only half of their body is allowed to rest. The other half remains ready for whatever may happen. For humans, that's just a sleep. But for them, it's a promise: I won't let anything touch the one I love while they sleep. And perhaps it is in the moment you drift off that another pair of eyes stays awake, not out of fear, but out of love. That night you sleep soundly, and it lies there, its guard slumber light still waiting. And sometimes just knowing that is enough to soften our heart. Part 5. The Slow Blink. Sometimes love doesn't need noise. It lies in a look, slow, deep, and quiet. You're sitting quietly. Maybe after a long day, the soft lights covering the room, and then you catch your dog looking at you. It's not the look of demand or curiosity, but something different, peaceful, gentle, and then a blink. A slow close of eyes, then open. Many people won't notice that, but behavior scientists call this trust gaze, the look of absolute trust. Dogs don't stare long at strangers, and they don't blink slowly in front of someone they fear. That slow blink is an unspoken message: I am calm because you are here. In that moment, no petting, no words are needed. Just one slow blink, yet it contains a whole world. Safety, familiarity, and gratitude. Some researchers even call it the dog smile, a smile in the eyes only reserved for the one they view as family. Next time you catch that look, try blinking back slowly, just once. It's your way of saying to them, I see you and thank you too. Because sometimes love doesn't appear in big gestures, but in a short moment where two gazes meet and both understand we are safe together. And when that slow blink closes, often there follows a small touch, another thank you, warm and tender. Part 6. The Soft Nose. Touch. A quiet evening. You've just stroked your dog, your hand still carrying the scent of soft fur and its warmth. You lean back into your chair, sigh lightly thinking everything is done. Then suddenly a soft, cool touch at your elbow. A small nose, not urgent, not strong, just enough to make you turn your head. That's not a request, not asking for food nor asking to play. That is a response, thank you. That nose touch is how the dog reconnects the emotional link you just made by the stroke, by the gentle voice, or simply by your peaceful presence. For them, that moment is so meaningful they don't want to let it pass without acknowledgement. So they choose the simplest way, a soft nose touch. Behavior researchers call this social referencing, how dogs seek and reinforce emotional bonds with the people they love. But to them, there's nothing scientific about it. It's just raw feeling, warm, real, and pure. Sometimes that touch comes when you least expect it, when you're tired, when you're sad, or just when you're silent too long. And right when your heart quietly dips, the little nose touches you as if it knows. Not to console, but to remind you, I know, and I'm here. Next time you feel that touch, don't pull your arm away. Let it stay for a few seconds. Because in the dog's world, sometimes a nose touch means more than 1,000 hugs. And then there are times they don't touch anymore. They just lean in. Not asking, not demanding, just resting as though the world is only safe when you're beside them. Part 7. The quiet lean. There are moments when your dog does nothing. No bark, no running around, no demand for attention. They simply walk over slowly and then lean softly against you. Not heavy, not forced, just enough for you to feel their warmth through your clothes. A quiet lean so subtle that if you didn't pay attention, you'd think it was accidental. But no, it isn't. In the dog's world, leaning is a signal of absolute trust. In nature, dogs lean on each other to keep warm, to share the sense of safety in cold nights. When they lean on you, it means you are their pack, the person they come to when they need strength, when they need a heart that listens without words. Sometimes that lean comes after a long day. Maybe you didn't say anything, but they know you're tired. They just come over quietly, place their weight onto your leg as if saying, "It's okay, I'm here." That lean isn't a demand, it's a thank you. A thank you for being their support, literally and figuratively. Behavior researchers call this comfort behavior, a natural soothing action. But ask any dog lover and they'll tell you something different. It's the moment your heart softens because you realize the truest love often comes from a creature that can't lie. So next time it leans on you, quietly don't move away. Sit still, take a deep breath, and let you both stay silent in that warmth. Because for them, that's not just leaning on you, it's saying, "Thank you because I know I belong here." And when that stillness fades, sometimes it bursts into unexpected joy, like that little heart just can't contain its emotions anymore. Part 8. The burst of joy. You open the door and before you even speak, your dog bursts out like a gust of wind. It runs around, spins its eyes, shining tail, wagging so fiercely it seems to sweep across the room. The rug is knocked askew. Your slippers kicked aside and the whole room seems filled with the sound of breathing and little claws tapping on the floor. At first glance that appears as simple excitement, but in truth it's an explosion of gratitude. Behavior scientists call this zoomies. Those moments when dogs can't hold back their joy, so they must run spin, send the emotion out through their body. And the best part is they only do this when they feel truly safe, truly happy. That burst doesn't come randomly. It often follows something you did that made their little heart happy, a longer than usual stroke, a nice meal, or simply you coming home after a day away. To them, every time you open that door, their world gets filled with light again. Watching them chase themselves may make you laugh, but if you look closer, you'll see this is not just play, it's a dance of gratitude. A dance just for you, the one who made them feel loved enough to go crazy with joy. And then when the zoomie ends, as their breathing slows, you'll see it lie down, curl up in a familiar spot. Maybe your old shirt, your worn-out shoes, or the corner of the sofa that smells like you. And there, another thank you begins, quiet but deeper. Part 9. The scent nest of you. One afternoon, you walk into the room and find your dog not lying in the brand new bed you bought, but instead curled up on the old shirt you left or the pair of shoes you forgot by the wall. At first you might laugh. Why, there's something more comfortable, but for them, the most comfortable place is not the new bed, but the place with your scent. Dogs live in a world of smell. Smell is memory, is emotion, is home. When they choose to lie in your shirt, it means they are seeking the sense of safety your scent brings. It isn't random behavior. It is a ritual full of emotion, their way of saying, "I miss you, I am grateful, and I want to be near." Behavior studies show that a dog's owner's scent can lower their heart rate and stress levels, similar to how we feel calm listening to a familiar song. When you're not home, the old shirt becomes the invisible bridge, helping them feel you're still there. And if you watch closely, you'll notice they often do this after you've paid attention to them, after a walk, a good meal, or simply a peaceful day. By lying on your scented item, they are prolonging the good feeling you gave them just a little longer. Because for dogs, thank you isn't a spoken word. It's the way they hug your scent, inhale deeply, and sleep peacefully, as if in their small world, you are the safest place to return to. And sometimes that gratitude doesn't just show through actions or scent, but lies deeper in their ability to feel your emotion even when you haven't said a word. Part 10. The Emotional Compass. There are days when you say nothing. No complaining, no laughter, no sigh. You just sit there silent, looking into the empty space in front of you and think no one notices. But then in the corner of the room, you'll hear a soft step. Your dog of yours walks over, no fanfare, no tail wag, just places its head on your knee. No question, no reason. It just stays there right when you need it, even though you didn't call it. People call that emotional attunement, the ability to sense a human's feeling even before we recognize we are sad. Scientists say dogs can detect changes in your heart rate, your breathing, and even the scent of stress hormones. But there are things science cannot measure, like how a single look can soften our heart or how one gentle touch can stop our world from shaking. For dogs, this isn't mere instinct. It's love forged through time. It's resonance between two beings who have walked through loneliness and found each other. When you are sad, they feel it. When you're tired, they quiet down. When you try to hide your tears, they lift their head and lean in a little closer, as though to say, I know, and I'm here. Many veterans, many who have lost loved ones, have said, I didn't realize I was falling apart until my dog laid its head on my hand. That is pure empathy, no words, no conditions, no demand. Because in those eyes, you are not just the owner. You are the whole world. The one who saved them, and now they are saving you day by day, by look after, by little touch. Now you see it. Your dog never truly says thank you, but it still thanks you every day in its own way. By the old toy placed by your feet, by the gentle lick after dinner, by the slow blink, the soft nose touch, or the way it leans into you without request. It says thank you when it follows you around, when it guards your sleep, when it trusts you completely. And above all, it thanks you by feeling your sadness before you even speak. You don't need to do something grand to be loved like this. Just being present, just being kind, just being yourself. Because to them, that is enough. In the eyes of that dog of yours, you are not just an owner. You are family. You are warmth. You are the world. So next time when it looks at you long, when it touches your hand, or just lies quietly beside you, smile. Because in that moment, it's saying, thank you for being here. And perhaps you are saying back in silence, thank you too for never leaving me alone. If you've ever seen your dog do one of these things, a moment that made you quietly smile and think, yep, my dog does that too, share it in the comments, because maybe your story will help someone love their dog just a bit more. And don't forget, the next video will tell about the 10 things dogs remember forever, even when you've forgotten.